Hello everyone, this is Akiko Sudano at StampinInTheMeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I am going to be making a card with the beautiful Birds and Branches stamp set. And it's a bundle. And I am going to be making this with this is going to be an anniversary card, and so I'm going to make it a masculine card because this is going to be a card that I'm going to give to my husband because next weekend is our anniversary. We'll have been married 45 years next weekend, and so it's so exciting. And shh, because this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him a card today. And the thing about it is that I'm using the Birds and Branches for the main part of the card, and I'm going to be using the Many Mates stamp set because it's got the happy anniversary greeting there. Hi, Karen. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'm so glad you have a sunny Sunday. We have a sunny Sunday as well, but it's just a little bit cold outside. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to be using the Forever and Always stamp set and stamp some of these love you. I think it's love you so very much. I'm going to put that on the inside of the card. So that's those are the stamp sets that I'm going to use, and I've already gone ahead and cut some of the items. The Birds and Branches stamp set comes with the bundle comes with the Birds and More dies, and they're just so they're just so wonderful. So I've gone ahead and I've cut the branch out of the soft suede cardstock, and that's this branch right here, and I'll be using that on my card. And then I took gray granite cardstock and I cut it out with this beautiful circular window die with all of the leaves coming out of that. Isn't that pretty? See how that goes so well? And then after I die cut it, I embossed it with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. And like I always like to do, I want to give this a little bit more strength because embossing it makes it a little bit floppy. So with this one, it didn't end up being too floppy, but I do want to give it an extra backing. So I cut another, and this is gray granite cardstock, and I cut another card with it, and I made it so that I could put this on there, and I cut the circle out with the large layering circles dies. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two pieces together, and I'm just going to use liquid glue on here to hold these two together. And basically, like I said, I want to put this on my card base with dimensionals, and this is going to give me a little bit more strength and make it a little bit sturdier. And so I cut this out, and what I did was after I cut this, cut and embossed the top panel, then I laid it down on my on the panel that I was going to use underneath it, and I took my pencil and just in a couple places put a little ticks on there so that I could help align the layering circles, circular die underneath it, and that ended up working out pretty well. And you can see that there is a slight overlap, so that the panel that I have on top is completely covering up the die underneath it. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, we have a sunny day here in Pennsylvania too, but it is a little cold. Last week we had some nice warm weather, but today is a little bit cool. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this this branch, the branch that I cut from the dies, and I'm going to adhere that down with glue dots, mini glue dots, and I've got some big areas here on the leaves that will well, that one I didn't place very well, but I can use to adhere my die cut. And I just don't want to drop it. I guess that's not a good thing. But let's see here. This can go right here. Come on. There we go. And then just bend these guys back. And we'll put one more on. Let's see, right there. There we go. There we go. And I was pulling this together, and I said, oh my goodness, this is so perfect for this time of year, because it is, and I'm going to just put it across right here so that it kind of goes underneath. I didn't stick any glue dots up there. Good. So I'm going to just stick it across here, and so that it kind of goes across, and put my glue down, and then this is going to kind of go above there as well. And then I'm going to take my scissors, and then I'm going to just trim these branches off even right here. Just take the paper snips and just trim that off. There we go, so that it doesn't go over my thing there. Okay, so this is all set. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I've taken a little panel, and I've used the woodland embossing folder. And this is, I cut this 3x3 out of Whisper White cardstock, and I embossed it with the woodland embossing folder. And this is a piece that I had cut for the inside, for the bottom trim of my inside panel. And I'm going to do this. And what I did here was I used my blending brush and soft suede ink, and I have just a scratch piece of paper here, and I'm going to just blend the ink all around it, and it gives it it's nice. It makes it pretty. And I'm going to go in kind of both directions, because I'm not sure exactly. I don't have a lot of experience with the blending brushes. When Stampin' Up! Came out with these are the first time that I used it, but I want to make sure that I get both sides of my trees, and so I kind of go in one direction and then go in the other direction, and hopefully I'm still in the camera here, and it gives it a nice soft color. And then, of course, on the it highlights the embossing, the edges of the trees with the embossing, and it makes it nice. And it's like hard to tell that, hey, this was even a basic white panel to begin with. And the blending brushes, I think they do work very nicely, and I'm just happy with it. And it goes a lot quicker than sponging than it ever did with when I used the sponge daubers, because I used to do this kind of thing a lot with more. I'm more comfortable with using sponge daubers because that's what I had always used before. All right, so close this back up, and so for my card base, and again, this is a masculine card, so I'm using soft suede as my card base, and I will put this on the card here, and I want to put this on with dimensional so that this goes up, but I want to make sure that this shows through like this, and so I think that's about where I want to put this. Let me move this paper around so I can kind of measure, I guess, use my grid lines to help me measure and make sure. And I'll just use my Stampin' seal to stick this on, and just put some on the back so that I can have my panel just kind of covered my window have something interesting to see on the other side. And it's going to be pretty much covered up by the panel. So just push that down a little bit. And so this is all ready to go, and then it'll be like this. But let's finish building up this panel first before we put that on. The next thing that I want to do here is I'm going to stamp my little birds, and for my little birds, these are the Birds and Branches stamp set. That's where I'm getting them from. And you can see that you've got, for each of the birds, you've got like a detailed stamp. You've got a, hi Linda, thank you so much for joining me. You've got a detailed bird stamp, you've got a wing, and then you've got a kind of background. So it's really kind of a three-step stamping set for birds, but it's a photopolymer stamp set, and I've already, but I'm just going to be using the detailed birds and the wing bird here, so that my birds are going to have a white belly. And I'm going to be stamping them in Misty Moonlight ink, and I'm going to put them here. And you can see that they're photopolymer stamp sets, and there's two different birds, one with the tail up and one with the tail down. So I'm going to start with the one with the tail down and get my birds inked up nice and juicy. And stamp, there's one. See, that's so pretty. And and these are the Stampin' Up! Distinctive stamps, so you can get some really, really nice shading in there. And then I'll do the one with the bird tail sticking up next to it, right here. And then I'll be die cutting these out as well, because part of the bundle has coordinating dies for many of these items. And then we've got the wing stamp sets, and each of these wings are going to be a little bit different. You can notice that this one has got kind of a curve to it, so it'll go with this bird, and then this wing is just straight. So this wing is the one that goes with the bird that has the tail up. But since they're photopolymer, and since I stamped the bird originally in a dark color, then it's fairly easy to line up. You can see you want to just and I'm just going to be stamping, and I'm doing this the same color. So let me stop talking so I can concentrate and see if I can get this right. This good. Camera's in the way, so it's a little bit more difficult than normal for me to do that. But there, that came out. So basically what this does is it gives me a little bit darker wing, and then it fills in some of the open spots here. And again, this is also one of the distinctive. They call them distinctive. I think that's a trademarked Stampin' Up! Term for the multicolor, but you can see how it's going to end up making that wing nice and dark. So then I would take these and die cut them, but you know what? I've already die cut two of these, so you don't have to wait for me to come back. And I've already cut, there's one, and then here's the other bird. So there, and that's using the coordinating dies, and it's this die and this die that cuts out the stamped bird. There's also die cuts for more of a modern graphic kind of bird. Yes, Karen, this is really, really wonderful. It is just very, very versatile, and I kind of feel like I have to stay kind of in neutral colors with this card, because this is a masculine card. but it's like, oh my gosh, this would be so perfect for this time of year. This is the first branch that I made. Let me show you this. I made this branch, and using the same die cut for this, and I did it in soft suede, and then I did another one, and I cut the leaves out in old olive, and then put the flowers in, and this is in Blushing Bride with the champagne rhinestones inside there, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. But except I think that I said this, I have to save this element for a spring card for soon, within the next couple of weeks, because I think this is just a little too feminine for a masculine card, but it's so pretty. So, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and again, I'm using the Happy Anniversary stamp from the Many Mates stamp set, and I've got that mounted right here, and I'm going to be stamping that in on a panel of gray granite, which is the same color as this, and I'm stamping it with soft suede ink again. And I'll put it right here. And then I'm going to use the Label Me Fancy punch. See, that's a nice, it's a nice sentiment. I'm going to use the Label Me Fancy punch to punch the label out. And this is just a simple label. And then it's got two extra punches, one to make a circle, and you can see it right here, one to make a circle, and then one to make a slot. So if you want to make it so that it's you can use the slot for a ribbon, or you can use some twine around the circle and put it somewhere else and do something like that. So it's a pretty nice versatile punch. Let's see here. Is that straight? I think we're good. So that's going to say Happy Anniversary. And I've got room to put it right here. And that punch fits the sentiment, I think, pretty nicely. So the next thing I want to do here is I want to get since we have this beautiful Misty Moonlight ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and put some of that underneath the label, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to just put some Stampin' Seal across this area here so that I can adhere the ribbon to it. And then I will put the, actually I want to trim this end off a little bit cleaner, get a nice clean edge on that, and of course I make a mess. Get little ribbon lint all over the place. Okay, and then I'm going to just put this on, just wrap this a couple of times here, just to bring out the blue a little bit more there, and then trim this off right here. There we go. And that'll be good. Perfect. Okay, and I'll put my label on with dimensionals. I'll put my dimensionals on the top and on the bottom of the label so that I can make sure that I grab some of the cardstock, and it's so that it's not all stuck to the ribbon. Hopefully that's wide enough. Okay, yeah, I think I'll be fine. So pull the covers off. Pull the covers off my little half dimensionals here. Actually, I think I can stick some dimensionals on the end here too, since my ribbon's going up and down in this way. this way, I'm good. There we go. Oh my goodness, Karen, you've got fruit trees budding. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. We just have our daffodils just have like peeked their heads up and showed that they've got some blooms, but nothing else is blooming yet. There, so we're going to just put this on, and it's okay if it overlaps the branch. That's okay. So we've got a little bit of color there. And then the next thing, I think, yeah, let's go ahead and take this, and let's go ahead and adhere this, because I wanted to make sure that I had something solid to put the ribbon on and the label. So we're good with that, so I can go ahead and adhere the panel, the overlay panel, to the card base. So I'm going to stick on some dimensionals on the back here. And then with the window, it's just going to look so pretty, because you're going to see the woodland in behind it, and then you'll see some shadows. It'll be nice. See here, I think I need to get some more dimensionals. Here we go. Some more. Yep, I'm good. There. And get my little bowl and pull the covers off. I was talking to my sister in Florida yesterday, and she was telling me how all of her azaleas are blooming, and it's just so pretty there. So it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous. We'll have our turn. We'll have our turn. Okay, so that's all done, and then I'll pull this, and I just want to make sure I get this kind of centered and even. There. So that's kind of nice with the woodland embossing folder in the back there. So then let's see here. Now my birds, I think this guy, I'm going to stick him right here, and then this one I'll stick down here. And I think that they're going to both go on the panel. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I don't put them on crooked and stick something where the dimensionals are going to go on the background. But it makes a nice little shadow there. And that was the effect that I wanted to go for. Is that's good. And then also with this stamp set, they have the little feet. And I decided not to put the little feet on this one. It just seemed a little bit too fussy at this point for me. So yeah, I'm good. So I'm going to just stick this bird right here. It does, Karen. It does. It makes it so springy. It makes you feel so good. You're so right. I do feel optimistic. I'm going to stick this guy right here. So if I didn't need to make this so masculine, I can imagine it with pinks and light greens and lots of other things. But I think I need to just add a couple of like embellishments. And I was thinking that I would use, here's my inside panel, so I'll need to use that next. I am going to go ahead and use the metallic pearls. And I'm going to use the silver ones, and I'm going to just add just a little bit, just to give a little bit of something. And I think right here on the label, that'll dress the label up a little bit. And need to find 3, so let's stick one right here. Stick one right here, and then we'll stick one inside the window there somewhere. There. So we just have a little bit to dress that up. There we go. All right. So now for the inside of the card. And this is where I think it just really gets... so I'll put this aside. So now I'm going to use the great big love stamp from the Always and Forever and Always stamp set. And these are photopolymer stamps, and that's this big love right here. So I'm going to put that, and I'm going to stamp this one in Misty Moonlight ink. And I'm going to ink that up. Absolutely, absolutely, Karen. So I'm going to stamp this kind of on the side, kind of on an angle. So I think the love goes nicely with the lovebirds and stuff. And then I'm going to stamp the You So Very Much. That's what it says. And I'm going to stamp this one in soft suede ink. If I can find my ink. I just had it here. My ink pad. Here it is. Okay. So I'm using the same basic colors, and I'm gonna, this says, Love You So Very Much. And I'll stamp this kind of like right underneath it. And I wanna line this up, kind of, make it kind of straight, I guess. I think that's okay. And then I showed you the other little strip, here it is, of that I had embossed, and then I had already embossed this and colored it with used the blending brush and the Misty Moonlight, not Misty Moonlight, soft suede on that. And so I'm going to adhere this to the bottom, and it's simple. It just says, love you. Happy anniversary, love you. Not much more that needs to be said. And I want to put this, I guess, yeah, I'm going to, so I did this, I just had a scrap, and so I went ahead and I just embossed the whole thing. So I need to trim it down now. Let's make sure we're good there. And good there. And get my paper snips. Trim that off. Trim this side off. And then we'll adhere it to the inside of our card. And then our card is done. There we go. And this one, I made this one a side folding card instead of the top folding card. So it takes it a different strategy to align my things. There we go. There. So I think even though that's a really fancy font, I think that's nice and masculine. So, and simple. Love you so very much. And with the lovebirds on top, and the beautiful window that gives you the dimension. So thank you so very much for watching, and I remind you that next week is going to be my anniversary, so I'm not going to be doing demonstrating a card next week, but I will see you in 2 weeks. So thank you so much, and everybody have a great week. And by the next time I do one, it's gonna be spring everywhere. Let's hope. So have a great week. Take care. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you.